What is up, guys? Welcome to Sports Art Spotlight, the show where I get to merge my love for art and design with my passion for sports and collecting. Now, on this episode, I have a very special guest. It's Donny B Collectibles. I'm very excited to talk to him. He is one of the pioneers in the sports card art industry. If you don't know what sports card art is, you will definitely know by the end of this interview. And if you don't know who Donny B is, I highly recommend going to check out his page. His work is unbelievable. I am very excited to show you guys this interview. There's also a little special surprise towards the end of it, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching as always. I appreciate it. Here's the interview. Thanks again for hopping on. I really appreciate it, man. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about some of the stuff that you've been working on over. I mean, how long have you been doing card art? I think we talked about this before, but how long have you actually been doing this stuff?
At this time, it's a little bit over 2 full years,
Wow.
and in that time, and it's funny because I wish that I could go back in time and really spend more time just kind of organizing and making like a chart of all the pieces that I've sold. Because now what I ended up having to go to is all the cases that I've bought for my pieces. And I know that I've bought like 500 cases. So therefore, at least 500 pieces have either left my house. I got like 40 on hand, like 30 on hand. But other than that, man, probably well over 400 of my pieces are out in the wild in other people's collection, and that
Unbelievable,
to
man.
me means a lot. Because I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, I'm honored to be a part of your collection,
Dude,
and to
yeah, we'll
be,
talk about that a little bit, man. I got your packet. I haven't opened it yet. I haven't opened it
ooh,
yet, dude. So I'm going to be
dude, you're
seeing it for the
something
first
else.
time.
You're something else, man. If you mailed me a package of any kind, it's opened within 2 seconds, dude. two
You don't know
seconds.
how much self-restraint I had to have. It this thing was sitting on my desk for like weeks now, and I'm just like, dude, I want to open it because I know what's going to be inside of it, and I can't wait to just look at it live with you, man. I'm
That's
excited, dude,
awesome,
for sure. But
dude.
yeah,
I'm
dude.
dying,
So
man.
you said you've had like over 500, probably over 500 cards, man. Do you remember what the first card you did was?
I do. I do. And it's funny. We did a Secret Santa last year, and I ended up gifting it to somebody for Secret Santa, and I don't necessarily regret it. It's kind of fun to have that stuff on hand, but I definitely still have like the second and third piece. The first piece was a Tim Rock Reigns, uh, 1990 1991 Topps card,
Wow.
and it's funny, man, because when I first got into it, my mind thought was I have all these beautiful cards. Some of them are worth more than others, but we got all this junk era wax. Something like a 1991 Tim Raines card. It's literally worth 0 cents. But you're talking about a Hall of Famer. You're talking about a real cool image. You're talking about a cool card. And I wanted, my original thought was to better all these cards that should have value, but since they flooded the market, there will never be value on 99.9% of the junk era wax. So I started chopping up Barry Bonds cards, Mark McGwire, Dennis Eckersley, Tom Glavine, things of that nature, where you're talking about real studs that have a whole bunch of worthless cards. And so I got to chopping those up and making them pretty. And then it starts to get a little bit more competitive. And then it becomes, what's the best card that I can chop up to make it better? So now everybody's chopping up autographs, chopping up refractor, like nice refractor cards, rookie refractors, and all sorts of
What's
crazy.
the most expensive card that you've chopped up, man?
It would be a rookie card of Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, that triple with
The
Larry
triplet,
Bird, Magic
yeah.
Johnson, and Dr. J in the middle. The one thing about that project is the cards were already perforated, like they had
Hmm.
already been separated. So rather than being like a $500,000 card, it's probably like a $300 card at the time. Obviously a whole different climate now. Who knows what that's worth now? But I hate to even think. But um, stuff like that. I chopped up an Aaron Rodgers rookie card that definitely had some significant value. But the most significant thing that I cut up was a home run ball caught by my client, and it was Albert Pujols home run ball from 2008.
That's unbelievable. Did you die a little bit inside when you had to cut that thing up, man?
It was weird, man. It was a little sacrilegious, and I went live when I did it just to have like, just kind of have like evidence of me doing it, so dude knows I'm not chopping up some other ball and all that kind of stuff. And it was weird, and I ended up chopping up a few other MLB balls beforehand to try to, I don't want to waste anything. That's a pretty sacred item. And yeah, it was a cool piece, man. It ended up coming out great. And since he caught the ball in 2008, I bought a 2008 Bowman Chrome refractor to keep it period. And it was home run ball number 290. So we got a serial numbered card that was 290 out of like 500 or something, and cut up the 290 and the dash, and that's on the card too. And he's supposed to finalize it when with his final number.
Yeah, so you're a Giants fan, right? So are you a collector of memorabilia too, or do you just I see a signed jersey behind you and I see a bunch of
Yeah.
cards. Do you collect other than cards, what type of items do you collect?
Man, it's funny you asked that. When I first got back into collecting, it wasn't cards, dang near at all. Really, I was focused on autographs, and I've always had like an infatuation with autographs. It's
I'm
all
an
it's
autograph
almost
hound myself, man. I love
hound,
the
yeah.
chase, dude. I love
I
it.
dude, I'm really glad we linked up, and I've been loving watching your content of you going to shows and having Schwarber sign 5 posters.
I
Like
appreciate it.
you
Yeah.
you and I are very similar in that regard. Like we like to take advantage of certain opportunities.
Yeah. And what I like to do too is, the reason that I started doing what I do is because, I like to design my own pieces. You know what I mean? Like I have a
Yeah,
graphic
for
design
sure.
background, art background. And that's part of the reason I do this talk is because I like to bring together art and sports, you know what I mean? And the hobby and show both sides of what I'm passionate about. You know what I mean? So when I go out and I get things signed by players, I'm designing my own custom cards for them to sign. I have a whole box of like my favorite players that I have a whole series that, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but they're not for sale. You know what I mean? They're just for me and my collection. I design my own posters. I design my own canvases, because I'm sick of looking at everybody has, like for Brian Dawkins' example, everybody has that one photo. You see it everywhere. I wanted something different. I wanted something that nobody else has. So that's what I appreciate about you and what you're doing, man, because you pretty much started this whole thing, right? I mean, you were one of the first people to do this card art. So tell me a little bit about what you consider card art and kind of, you know, I know you talked about the first piece that you did, but what does it mean to you? You know what I mean? Like, what do you consider card art in any form?
So you kind of started off real good, man. The basis is something very unique that any collector would love to have that nobody else can own. Like everybody
One of
loves a
one.
one of everybody loves a one of one, and what's better than a one of one that someone spent 5 hours to make it, as dope as it possibly could be. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely not the first person to make hard art, but I'm the one with the biggest platform, and I got into it when there's probably like five or so people chopping up cards, and maybe three of them are still at it, and it just seemed really cool, and I think I told you before I was watching Card Killer stuff, which was so advanced.
Card Killer is the man, dude. He just reached
Yeah,
out to me today, actually. That dude, man, he's a great guy, man. Great guy for sure.
yeah, that's my best friend, dude. That's my best friend in life, in the hobby, in the In the
Yeah.
art game, we talk dang near every day. Every project we do, we're usually a part of it together. But yeah, man, when he started making what he was making, it was so far, even at that point, like, 2, 3 years ago, it was so far advanced that when I saw it, it didn't strike me as something that I could do, you know. And so when I got, but the interest was there, the intrigue was there. It was like almost like envy, like, dang, I wish I could do something like that. And then I saw someone else by the name of Third Dan Art, another buddy of mine named Dan, who was making card art in a different format. And when I looked at it, not to say like it didn't seem like it was something that I could easily duplicate, but it seemed like something closer to where I could kind of do something similar with than Card Killer, who's over here pouring resin. And he'd already been dealing with chopped up refractors for like 5 years on full scale pieces.
Yeah.
That's what he was doing.
Yeah.
So
He's
he
done
already
some
had
crazy work, man. He's done some crazy
insane. The
stuff.
bet I the most talented artwork I've ever seen in person was his, man. He did a so he and I went to Chicago for national, not this year, but the last year, and we shared a hotel room together. And he brought one of his full scale pieces, and it was a replica of Starry Night. And not only was it a replica of Starry Night, it was built to size, like the actual size of the Starry Night, which is
Unbelievable.
like big piece, man.
Yeah.
And it was all oil paint and refractors, like thousands of refractors, man.
Dude, you got to
And
put in a good word for me, man. I would love to interview that dude, man.
consider it done. Consider it
That's
done,
what's
man.
up, man. I appreciate that, dude. I appreciate it. So now, yeah, you were talking about how there in the beginning there was only a few people that do it. Now it's the market is a little oversaturated, I feel,
Big
in my
time, big
opinion.
time,
But
yeah.
I mean, that's how it's going to be in any field, right? Once it catches on, there's always going to be people that are, you might take that as inspiration. People love what you do, and yeah, there's going to be some copycats out there that are doing the same style as you, but people know quality when they see it. You know what I mean? And that's really what separates people from the pack. And your stuff is quality work, man. I'm a big fan of your work, man. And for sure, dude. And that's really the reason I wanted to reach out to you. And you've been nothing but cool and nothing but nice to me. So I just want to say I really do appreciate that for real, man. I really do appreciate you. So,
Yeah,
but on
likewise.
that note, there are a lot of people that are doing this stuff and so much that you guys started a card art league, right? With Talon, right? He's the one who kind
Yeah,
of
he
pioneered
started
this
it.
thing. He
Sure,
started it. Okay. But you're involved in it, right?
correct.
Tell me a little bit about the card art league and some of the projects that you've been working on for that.
The Card Art League was something that Talon, his name is Brian, and this guy named Tony. Oh man, I can't pronounce his last name very well. It's like Lociano, something like that.
Okay.
And he told that the Tony character, he was I forget exactly what position it was. It was like the VP of Upper Deck in like the early '90s. He was a big deal.
Okay.
Like one of his big claim to fame was he was the one that got Michael Jordan to sign the Upper Deck contract, which is
Yeah.
about as iconic as it gets, right?
Yeah. And that
So
that was the first card that you guys did in the card art league was the 91, which I love that card. The 91 upper deck Jordan kind of promo card, right? It was the first time he appeared in an upper deck card. So most people don't know that that was the first card, for upper deck that he did, but that's an iconic card in my opinion. So I was
yeah,
thrilled to see that that was the first card that you guys did. And your submission for that was fire, dude. I loved your art for that, man.
I just wanted to come outside the box, man. Like with that one, excuse me, I didn't have any intentions of winning. It was never about winning. It was about turning heads, and it was
Yeah.
about you know I wanted everybody to look at my piece and be like, this one stands out.
Hmm.
That's it, you know. And
Definitely.
considering that I worked on the back of the card and everyone else
Yep.
worked on the front of the card, and
So
I
original, man. It was
yeah,
very cool. Very original idea.
and it was
Definitely.
a great image. It was a great image of him shooting the J.
Yep.
That serial number on the back was a gold. It was a hollow one. and it was his first Upper Deck
Yep.
card. So that was the significance
There's
behind that.
layers. There's layers, man.
Exactly. And so that guy Tony, he's a big deal in the card game in the early '90s. Dude, he had, and it's funny, man. He and I FaceTimed a few times before even there was any talk about the league. He had liked my work, and we wanted to, collaborate on something. We just wanted to keep in touch. And then he'd just be like going through his basement while we're on FaceTime, and the stuff that he has is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, he's signing contracts with Shaq. He's just signing contracts with Ted Williams, signing contracts with MJ. And so he's just going through boxes. That MJ card that you like so much, he's like, yeah, I have about 5,000 of these. Maybe not 5,000, but boxes, dude.
That's
Like he's got thousands. He's
insane,
got he's got
man.
hundreds. And then it's not just that; it's a billion of other promo cards and all this other stuff. And so that was the first submission of Michael Jordan. And then the second submission was also a national promo card from the same set, and it's Barry Sanders.
Yep.
And they're actually being released this week.
I started
Mine
seeing
hasn't.
promos for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. So what do they do
Um,
with the cards when you're done? Do you get them back, or what happens to them? You're going to sell it, or just go
no.
to the highest bidder? What happens?
So it is a partial charity project, and the charity numbers have uh, they've fluctuated a bit. The numbers for all the you know whole ordeal have fluctuated quite a bit. But from the last notification that I seen, 60% of it is going to be going to charity, and so we're auctioning them off on pristine auctions, which is a
Nice.
pretty cool opportunity to have our artwork on an auction house like that. Because I mean, it probably wouldn't be an easy thing to accomplish by myself. You
Yeah.
know,
And that's kind of what I was that's my next point is what I was going to get to is that, you know, people see some cards that are going for 3, 4, 5, 600 bucks, and it's to me, it could be so much better of a card. And now I think the market is starting to catch up with card art because to me, it is art. It's creativity, it's expression, it's, making something unique. Like you said, a one of one piece. Why can't that be worth six, seven, $8,000? Why not? It's art. You know what I mean? So,
and it should be based on talent, man. It should not be based on name brand stuff. But I mean, that's how life works. And I understand that, and that's why I put so much dang effort into building my platform. Is because that stuff does matter. But like I was on this mission from God, this mission from God over here to try to let talent speak for itself, man. And for a long time, I was running auctions on my page to get these artists that have a smaller platform onto a larger platform to have
yeah,
it speak for itself. And sometimes it worked better than others, but it was just a fun part of the history of myself and of card art.
yeah, man. It's all about, to me, the hobby is all about building community, and helping people out and building relationships with people and making connections. Like that to me, that's what I love the most about this hobby is
Yeah.
meeting people like you. And you and I are we're going to be buds for like, however long, you know what I mean? But, you know, people like that, there's so many good people in the hobby that it really does make you feel good when you could do something for somebody else, like a giveaway or, giving to charity. Like that's to me, that's what it's all about, man. And I love that you do that. And I love that, it means so much to you. I can tell you're passionate about it. And that's what I gravitate towards passionate people. You know what I mean?
Me too. Me too.
For
Big
sure,
time.
dude. So what would you say is like the favorite card that you've done so far? Would it be that Jordan card or would it be one of your other commissions or personal pieces?
No, I couldn't call it that Jordan card, man. I mean, that was a fun one for sure, but wow, that's a good question, man. It's funny. I made this Ronald Acuna card pretty early on, and I mean, it's still one of my highest selling cards. It sold for like $500, and man, it came out cool. And since it was a little early on, the execution could have been better for sure, but the
Right.
concept was solid. And it was like the 1984 top style with that, like that little window on the corner. And I took three of those cards, and it was a beautiful picture of Acuna like halfway through his swing. And I took three of those cards, cut out all three of the images, and made it like a
Nice.
triple image type of deal. That one came out pretty cool. I had a card that a lot of people really enjoyed this one. It was a Jose Canseco, and I cut up an ace hat, took a real cool patch. It was like a spring training patch that featured the elephant and all that.
Yeah.
And I put it in the back of the card, and it was, I think it might have been one of those like, was like Pro View cards, the ones that had the
The
like
illustrations.
the crazy illustrations
Yeah.
and like
Yeah. Like
flames and all
Provision,
that
I think
stuff.
it was called, right?
Provision, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I used that card, cut out the image, and so there's like a box, a nice square box that features the patch, and then I got Conseco on the front with some nice decoration in the back, and I brought that to Fairfield, California, to get it signed by Jose Canseco at a card show. And then I ended up auctioning it off while I was in Chicago for a national to kind of help try to deflect some of the expenses that I was losing out on,
Right. I got
and
you.
and that did well, man. I think it ended up selling for like $360, something like that.
Nice, dude. That's awesome, man. It seems like you're doing pretty well with this stuff. I was hoping that you were going to say the favorite card that you ever did was this one right here,
You
man.
know what, dude? I spaced on it, dude, and you're gonna call me a liar, but I think that is my most intricate card that I've ever done, man.
I'm out. Can I open it now, man? Are you good?
I would love for you to do that.
All
Yeah,
right, let's
that
do it.
really is one of my favorite
Everyone, we're
cards,
seeing
man.
this car. I'm seeing this car for the very first time, so everyone's seeing it with me, dude.
And there is a bonus card, and that's not the big kaboom.
Oh my god, man! I'm taking it out of this wrapper. I got to see this thing, dude.
Do it.
Holy hell, man! Oh, look at this card. Look at
Woo!
this card, dude. The detail in that background. I love the colors. I love
Yeah,
the colors that you chose, man. It makes that image pop so nice. And
yeah. Those cuts alone, man, are some of the gnarliest cuts that ever been able to execute first try.
that's so cool, man. How long did something like this take you?
Whew, something like that one, probably like 4.5 hours, something like that.
4.5 hours, man. Wow, dude, unbelievable. That is so cool. And wait, there's a bonus you said? Let's see. I'm gonna
Yeah,
open this guy up too. Oh, wow, little Pete Rose action. Nice, man. Record breaker. Nice.
that
That's a
that
nice
is
one too.
that's an early card, man. That's probably one of my first like 15 shadow boxes that I ever made.
That's cool, man. I love these, dude. I love the color schemes that you choose with these too, man. They go nice together, man. That's a nice set, dude.
Philly
I
on Philly,
love it.
baby. They were meant for you.
Yo, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. That's awesome, man. So, yo, tell people where they can find you if they want to, if they're not familiar with your work. I mean, if you're not familiar with Donnie's work, it's unbelievable. You got to check him out. Give me your social media, give me your info, and that way people can get in touch with you.
Yeah, man. You can find me on Instagram at Donny B Collectibles, DONNY B Collectibles. Collectibles with an IBLES, not an A. Which is funny, man. Before I started this account, it never really dawned on me that there was two ways to spell collectible.
But
And
are you taking commissions right now?
yeah, I got commissions open. Feel free to DM me for pricing. Can work out any type of group pricing deal. I think I got done showing you a Star Wars project that I did
Yeah.
recently, and that was 30 separate one of a kind pieces. Uh, Man, that's the most extensive project that I ever made. That was a very cool project to be a part of. But yeah, man, I'm mainly on Instagram. I do have a TikTok. I'm not active on it. Um,
Okay,
I believe the name is Donny Bravo 44. But there's nothing on that TikTok that you wouldn't find on my Instagram.
cool. I'll push
So
people
yeah,
to your Instagram, man. We'll share this. By the way, I gotta say before we go, dude, I love that shirt, man. I'm sure you get compliments on that everywhere you go, right?
yeah. I mean, I try to wear it in opportune moments,
Very cool.
such as interviews and whatnot.
Well, dude,
I mean, it makes me happy. It's my favorite player of all time.
yeah, no, it's a good one. Have you done a Griffey card?
I've probably done more Griffey cards than anybody else.
Nice.
And it's funny, you asked me a question earlier that we ended up getting sidetracked on very quickly. And you asked me if I collect memorabilia or cards. And when I first got back into collecting, I was still in rehab and I was frequenting Goodwills and thrift stores and whatnot. And I
That's
become yeah,
old hobby of mine, dude. That's you'll find me there 5 days out of the week, man.
fun. Dude, I mean, it's more enjoyable than anything, man. Just some stadium giveaways and whatever. And so I'd come across, a few bobbleheads. And by the time I'm out of rehab, I probably got like 5 or 6 bobbleheads. Like thinking to myself, oh, these will make cool Christmas presents. I'll give these away. No, that became like the base of my collection. And then I get out of rehab, wasn't thinking much of it, but if I'm around a thrift shop, I'm gonna go in it. And I was staying with my mom for a week in Petaluma up north, and I was at a thrift shop, and what did they have? But it's gonna be hard to see.
There
But
you go.
this is
That's a nice one.
a pearl, a signed Ken Griffey Jr. baseball. Found this in an antique shop, man. Like it's like half antique, half thrift shop.
Dude.
He had it at like $80. I talked him down to 60. Uh, yeah, which
Always
is
wheeling and
ridiculous.
dealing, man. Right?
Oh,
You can't.
always, always. I mean that dude. That's half of the fun.
Yeah,
Is trying to get a some type of deal to where if you had to sell it, you wouldn't lose money on it. That type of deal.
exactly. Yeah, but you're
So,
keeping that thing.
oh,
That's not
dude,
leaving the collection.
this is what's super funny too. Yeah, first of all, never leaving. Every time I ever post it, it's 99% people showing love and like, oh, that's definitely a real Griffey signature. There's always one dingle
Fake.
nut. Yes, there's always one dingle nut. Yo, Griffey don't do his wise like that, or just something, and it's like the funny
Facebook
thing is
experts, man. Yeah,
the funniest thing about it is if it was fake, it wouldn't even matter to me. Like that's
yeah.
what got me back into collecting. Like
I hear you, dude.
it's so much further than just a ball, and it's not fake. I mean, come
Yo,
on now.
dude, I know. I love it, man. I love the chase. I love everything, dude. Yo, Donnie, thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate this talk, man. It's been a pleasure to talk to you, and we got to do this again, man, for sure, dude.
Yeah. Hey, I'd be honored to have you on my live sometime too if you want, man.
Absolutely, man. We'll set
Get
something
some
up, man.
yeah, we'll get some promo going for you, man.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, man. I'll talk to you.
Have a good night, brother. Thanks
All right,
again,
man.
man.
You too.